Welcome to Bulldog Talk on the Edge.
I'm your host, Ariel, and I'm here with my co-host,
James Bates,
Jason Walton,
Jonathan Sparks, and William Cruz.
And today we have Carey Fountain. Carey Fountain is a multidisciplinary artist, musician, and cultural strategist based in Alabama, known for transforming conversation into interactive art. As the founder of Vibes and Virtuals, he merges music, visual art, and community engagement to inspire dialogue and social change. Fountain's work, from his self-produced music projects to civic art initiatives, challenges norms and uplifts new perspectives. He currently serves as Director of Program and Partnerships at Selma's Foot Soldiers Park, designing creative programs that honor history and empower communities, whether through soulful music performances, through provoking card games, or public art installations. Carey Fountain strives to leave the world more positive and connected through art.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I look forward to getting to talk to you all.
Yes. What made you create with this project? Was it just you?
So, with Black Cherry Tree Project, it was a project that was created with myself and a good friend of mine named Noah Duffy. So we were just inspired, trying to think about the year 2020 and everything that happened and how art can make the world a better place and ways art can allow us to heal through when we see racial trauma and issues, like when we saw George Floyd pass away. We were really trying to make a difference and figure out something that we can do as artists to help make sure the future is better than the past.
Why is it important for new generations to know about this?
So, it's important to know about our history. It's important to know where we came from. It's important to understand our past so we can know how not to repeat it. And unfortunately, we live in a time right now where certain people try to suppress the history, try to suppress the past, so that we don't know about it. So, can you imagine how would you feel if you never learned anything about your history? Like, can you think of that? How would that make you feel?
That one made me feel great, because I want to know about my history and I want to know what went on when I wasn't here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we are trying to use art as a way to be able to communicate the history so that it doesn't get lost and hopefully it inspires future generations.
Mr. Fountain, why art?
Yeah. So that's a good question. I think, who likes to be told what to do? Raise your hand. Does anybody like to be told what to do and how to act and what to say?
No, sir.
No.
Exactly. So, I was the same way.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. Like, you didn't want to get told by your boss, or you didn't want to get, told what to do all the time.
Well, some of that, yeah, but also too, art doesn't tell no one what to do. It inspires you how to think. It inspires you to want to see things from a different point of view.
And you can kind of express yourself through art instead of, just saying it out. And you can, instead of having an opinion on it, some people might not always agree with art, but it's still something that you can find passion in instead of just worrying about what someone will tell you about how to do your art.
Exactly. So that's why art is so important for me. To answer your question, that's why art. Because art doesn't force us to think anything. It inspires us to see things differently. So when we talk about something like race and we talk about lynching and we talk about racial trauma, art is a great tool to have those conversations.
In your opinion, how can we as the younger generation keep these stories alive?
Yeah, so I think definitely just talking about these stories with your friends and your peers, sharing them on social media, continuing to educate yourself about the history. Because one thing about history is it repeats itself. So you can look at everything that's going on today and you can look back in history and you can find where similar things were happening.
Yeah, not even just with situations. It can be with like just things you guys had back then or something that like people like our parents had back then. Like, you know how they often say something about how, oh, we had that back then also, but y'all are just repeating it. Like,
Yeah, exactly. What's something in the past that you've heard about that your parents told you about that you can't imagine uh today?
Oh, no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi, yep.
No
this,
Wi-Fi.
they had a weird way of having Wi-Fi back then. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
weird.
I was in high school. I remember we had one computer, it was plugged in the wall, and it was a dial-up, it was called a dial-up connection. And when somebody was using the computer and the phone line didn't work and you had a house phone, you didn't I mean, well, we had early cell phones. I didn't get a cell phone until I was older. But yeah, that was how they did things.
Um, I got a quick question. Um, what were like the type of pieces you use? Art pieces you use?
So with Black Cherry Tree Project, what we do is we it's a community art project. So we work with artists all in Birmingham community, and what they do is they pick a lynching victim. There were 34 documented lynching victims in Jefferson County where we live right now. And so what they do is they pick one of those victims and they research that history, and then they make an artwork about that person. And then what we do is we have an exhibition. We have different exhibitions where we showcase those artworks so people can see them, learn about the history. And then we also plant, it's called Black Cherry Tree Project because we plant black cherry trees across Birmingham in honor of each of those people. So when people see it 100 years from now, 200 years from now, they'll see that tree and they're gonna know, hey, this is meant to honor Lewis Houston.
So does it like have a label on it, like honoring someone? Like, will it have a picture or something?
Yeah, so it has a marker on it. So if you go and you see the trees, there's one right now in Lynn Park, and there's a giant steel marker, and on it it has the name, the years that they were alive, and then there's a QR code that you can scan and tells about that person's story, and you can also see all the artworks that people made for that person.
I got another quick question. Can you explain what lynching is?
Yeah, so lynching is basically any extrajudicial killing of a person without due process. So when someone is killed, like we recently just saw some examples of lynching in Minneapolis, where it's a public execution of somebody without they didn't get a chance to go to court. They didn't get a chance to talk to a judge. In this case, what happened there was state sanctioned violence. But most people can think of lynching. The lynchings we work with the Black Charity Project is racial terror lynchings. Most people think about someone hanging from a tree, from a rope, which was very, very popular. Um, in the 1800s and early 1900s, and it was especially targeted towards Black people as a way to scare Black people and minorities and keep them from wanting being able to be embraced and be a part of society and using white supremacy as a way to control Black people. I mean, if you saw one of your friends or family members getting killed by somebody, I mean, wouldn't that make you think? Wouldn't that make you? So, yeah, how would y'all feel if you lived in a world where people could legally just walk out and go kill a Black person or a Hispanic person just because they thought that they were guilty of something without even giving them a chance to defend themselves?
That wouldn't be good at all. Like, that's kind of racist, and I know that kind of happens a lot, out in the real world. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't feel good at all knowing my kind is
In danger.
Yeah. And so this was normalized. This was normalized, and these stories, these people who were killed, We just want to make sure those stories aren't forgotten, and those continue to live on. Because if you continue to know, think about if you didn't know that that happened, then um, you wouldn't have anything to compare that back to in history to sit there and when you start seeing things happen again to know that is wrong. So,
Mr. Fountain,
Mhm.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Why did you choose the cherry tree?
Yeah, it's a good question. So the black cherry tree was chosen because we were trying to think of a symbol that was related to lynching. Because when we look at the history of lynching, you oftentimes people were, like I said earlier, they were hanged on a tree.
Mhm.
But also we wanted to have a positive impact with the symbol. So the black cherry tree, the reason why it's chosen, because we thought it needed to be something that bared fruit. It's like fruit living on to the next generation. And then also the black cherry tree is a native tree to Alabama. So that was part of it as well. Is what is a native tree? Because we didn't want to plant a tree here that doesn't fit with this environment and was going to die. So if we planted a banana tree couldn't survive um, in an Alabama climate. So that's why we ended up with the black cherry tree because it bears fruit. And we thought, hey, 100 years from now, as people are eating the cherries from this tree or making jelly from it, that'll be a way for them to carry forward the legacy of these people that the tree is honoring. So
Also, I have another question. What else do you do as a professional?
yeah, so I do a few different things. I work at Foot Soldiers Park in Selma, Alabama, where we work to preserve the civil rights history. I'm the director of programs there. So I'm always busy working on programs and working in the community and making sure that the history that happened, the civil rights history, is preserved. I also have a project called Vibes and Virtues that I started probably like 2018, which is a card game for kids and adults to play. It's like a strategy conversation game, and and also through that, I also do music releases, clothing, and paintings related to vibes and virtues as well.
Also, what do you want students to know about how to stand up for their rights?
Yeah, so I think, you know, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to use your voice and don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to think differently. I know when you're young, it's so easy to just want to follow the crowd and fit in with your friends and your peers. But I'm here to tell you a lot of the kids that you think are so cool because they do this and that, when you get older, they're not as cool. What's really cool is the kids who follow and stay true to themselves and follow their heart and be who you want to be. People may think if you dress a certain kind of way, you're weird, or if you speak up for this issue, then that's strange, or you shouldn't do that because no one else is doing it. But oftentimes the people who have the courage to follow the path, walk left when everyone else goes right, that is how you start to develop a sense of confidence about yourself to where you begin to want to stand up for what's right and think critical, become a critical thinker. I'll say that too. Because I think it's so important to know why you think something. Don't just say, I want to do this because everyone else is doing it. No, why do you want to do that? Why do you believe in this? Why do you believe this person should be the president? Why do you think this is wrong? And be able to answer those questions about yourself.
Also, another quick question. Does what you see today seem like a repeat of the history of the past?
Yeah, I definitely think if you look back in history, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing today, you definitely saw glimpses of that in the past. If you look at everything going on with the our just our country right now, you're seeing rights being taken away. You're seeing civil rights being taken away, being jeopardized. Right now, they're trying to get rid of the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which was the act that made it legal for us to all vote. People who look like me, people who look like y'all to be able to vote. So yes, definitely look at history. We are seeing a repeat of the past in some ways.
We got one more question to ask you. Is there anything we did not ask you that you want to share our audience?
That history repeats itself if you lit it. So you know, I just encourage all you all to just continue to do the things y'all are doing, continue to stay creative, continue to stay inspired, and just acknowledge history, but at the same time, be that person that stands up for what's right and do the right thing at the end of the day, because that's gonna take you further than anything.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.